our nation's long and storied history, only one pillow salesman has ever been called to the Oval Office because the president was unhappy with his election results. Our next guest is that pillow man, and he has a lot to say.
All 9 of those Supreme Court justices are going to vote 9-0 because is that a hand or a foot? And they're going to go, it's a hand.
It's like the old mafia days when I used to bet football. You have been warned. Ooh, you know.
Yeah. He couldn't run a peanut factory. Not that peanut factories are, I don't know what they are, but did you see any nudity in porn? I'm getting death threats and everything else. Frank speech, if you can't come in, they're trying to turn our power off. They're attacking our power grid here.
They're attacking his power grid. Please welcome Mike Lindell. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We were supposed to be in a bed together. I'm sorry about that. The COVID people
We got
said.
rules here in California.
Have you been vaccinated?
No,
you have
vaccinated.
not. I meant for rabies. I didn't mean for COVID.
No. I did bring you a book, though.
You brought me a book. I read your book, by the way.
You read it?
I did read your book.
Do you know that cover on there? That's where it was up 14 days with the drug dealers.
I read it on my iPad.
And they did an intervention on me.
Yeah.
And I came upstairs, downtown Minneapolis, came upstairs, and I said, the one guy says, you know, you've been telling us for years this pillow thing is just a platform for God, and we want you to quit and come back and help us someday. Now I got the Lindell Recovery Network, and I'm helping millions of addicts. And you've
set an example by recovering from a horrible addiction to crack. I mean, really, a horrible thing. Yeah. And I have to tell you something. I know you might think this sounds weird, but I read Hunter Biden's book as well, and you guys have a lot in common.
Yeah.
You really do.
The same things when you're paranoid, the paranoids that go with it. And
that's what I want to talk to you about, the paranoia. You are here. You've been in hiding, is that correct?
Yeah, but not because of paranoia.
Well, how do you know? You haven't been home for a couple of months, back home in Minnesota. Is this true? Tell me if I have this wrong.
No, that's right. I've been working hard on this, the election and the machines. And
the machines. And we've heard a lot about the machines. But you were worried that someone is trying to kill you.
Well, I've had threats, many threats.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you started out as a bar owner in Minnesota, right?
Well, I started out... I was always kind of an entrepreneur. My sister flooded a third-story building of an apartment complex, so I became a carpet cleaner.
You did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You then got addicted to cocaine and then crack. Mm-hmm. You have a gambling problem. You supported yourself counting cards.
Right.
You smoked more crack. You would go to these casinos. You'd count cards. They'd throw you out. You were arrested multiple times. You had to sell your beloved bar. You started making pillows. You quit smoking crack. You made millions of dollars. And then you fell in love with Donald Trump, and now here we are. Is that correct, basically? Did I miss anything?
Well, you missed one thing.
What did I miss?
On January 16, 2009, by the grace of God, he did free me of all the addictions.
Yes.
And I woke up, I'm looking around, I wasn't into politics. I didn't know anything about what a conservative was, a liberal. I didn't know a filibuster from a millibuster. I didn't know anything.
Some would say you still don't, Mike, to be honest.
Maybe so. I do say wash and not wash. You know?
Yeah, okay.
And so I said if I ever ran, I'd put the R back in Washington, you know. But anyway, no, the summer of 16, I was invited by Donald Trump. I had never met him before in August 15th, 2016, and it was a meeting. He brought me in and he said, we talked about, he says, Mike, you do all your manufacturing here. I want to bring the manufacturing back. And we talked, I said, you know, I used to be a crack addict. I want to help millions of addicts with...
You liked his Made in the USA, this idea, this Made in the USA policy that he had.
Well, yeah, if you can make it here, a lot of things you can.
Yes, he doesn't make anything. I mean, he's got his website is 2/3 made elsewhere.
But there's a lot of things you can't make here. This is my sheets. There's no weavers or spinners left in the United States. My towels, I use all U.S. cotton. I have to ship it over because they don't have the technology here.
Let's be truthful. And by the way, I have a buzzer here in case, just for the lawyers, in case there's anything that we have to challenge.
Right.
A lot of people didn't want you to come on the show. Yeah. On liberals and conservatives, everybody told me don't have you on the show, and they told you don't go on the show.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
But I think it's important that we talk to each other.
Absolutely.
And I think that...
Yes.
And I also, I don't I don't think there's any validity to any of this stuff that you're saying. And I've studied you. I really have. And I've
22 hours you watch Frank, I heard.
I watched you last night at 11 o'clock. I've been watching you. And you know what? I laugh at a lot of the stuff, but a lot of people don't laugh because a lot of these ideas that you espouse, I think, I think you could potentially draw a line from those to the riot we had at the Capitol where people were killed and a lot of bad things.
Here's what I want to say to that. I didn't get anything until January 9th, and this was something different. This was the machines. This was an attack through the machines. You've seen it. And what I'm saying is to everyone, this isn't a Democrat or a Republican thing. For me, it's putting it out there. It's like this. I want to ask everyone this. If someone was out there saying my pillows had rocks and knives in it, I would say, hey, come and look at the beautiful patented fill. And I would say, show me the rocks and knives. But Dominion and Smart Money, they didn't do that. They're just suing people and saying, don't talk
you're
about
saying they have rocks and knives in their voting machines, and they're saying, no, we don't.
But they don't show their machines. That's the big thing. They're even trying to stop it.
But the federal government has, every...
No, they did not. They didn't have this evidence until January 9th. See?
Well, and yet, but they have this evidence now, you say?
No, we're bringing it all to the Supreme Court. This will all get there.
But you have said repeatedly that you're bringing this evidence, and that I assume you haven't seen this evidence. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Or I wouldn't
why is it taking so long if this is such a serious thing?
Because I wanted to, as you've seen in Absolute Interference, the new one I put out, there's it's a white hat hacker that works for the government, one of the best in the world. When our country's attacked, these are the guys that go in for the cyber attacks and check it all out and validate it. So I hired them to validate the evidence that I have that these guys brought me over here. Now realize, Jimmy, the only reason I have the evidence is because I became a voice after January 9th where they're going, hey, we've tried to get this out there and nobody had.
Do you ever think it's weird? Just objectively looking at yourself and going, why is it that the only person in the country who has this evidence is a guy who sells pillows on cable?
I bring it all the way back to when I was on your show here in 2014. It was the Forrest Gump thing. I don't know.
You think, I know. You know what? I can see how that would be in your head. Honestly, let's show that picture because weirdly, as a coincidence, you were here with Bob Seger's crew, right, or something?
And I took a picture, of you, and I'm going, my friends that went live, they're going,
oh, you took a picture of me, there you go. That is me. So, Mike.
My friends are going, what are you doing on stage with Jimmy Kimmel? And I said,
now, this actually, I think, plays into what we're talking about here. I could see how, you're worth many millions of dollars. I have no idea how much money you're worth.
I give it all to charity.
Whatever you do with it, whatever you do with it, but I could see how you would think, well, there must be some divine intervention here.
Absolutely.
Because how did a person who was in, a motel room buying crack and gambling and, away from his family and all of these things, how did this happen to me? I must be special. But I'm going to suggest to you that maybe it's a coincidence and that maybe this information that you have that you believe in. Let's be honest, your website doesn't even really work so well. Why would you think that you have broken this code of all people?
It wasn't me that broke it. They brought it to me.
But these people are not...
The only reason they did, Jimmy, is because I have the voice.
I worry about you. I feel like you are maybe self-destructive, like you have... lost everything repeatedly so many times in your life. You've had a bar, all of these things. You know the story.
Yeah.
But now, do you think maybe that's what... now, I feel like you're going to be out dressed as Spider-Man on Hollywood Boulevard at the end of this whole thing. Dominion is suing you for $1.3 billion.
You got to realize my pillow countersued them and what Alan Dershowitz said will be the biggest lawsuit, the most important in history.
Right, and we'll
for the
see how it
First
turns
Amendment
out.
right of free speech.
Well, for one of you, this is not going to work out well, okay? Whether it be them
that's not even the
or
lawsuits we're talking about. What I'm talking about, no matter who you are in this country, I'm not just some person that decided, hey, I want, your producer asked me, they said, Mike, would you have done it if it was reversed? Knowing what I have now, if they would have put Donald Trump back in on December 14th, and knowing what I had right now, I would still be sounding the alarm going, you guys, these machines, they were hacked, and we have to do something in our country.
I believe that you are sincere. I also think there's something going on from the crack or something that has, whatever, that is made you think? I mean, you mentioned paranoia.
What made me do this is just like when I met Donald Trump on August 15, 2016. I didn't know anything about politics, but I met this man that had problem, solution, and he knew what they'd manifest to. And I went out, talked to his employees. I got there, wow, this guy could be the greatest president ever. I talked to his employees, and every one of them said the same thing. I went back to Minnesota and I said, I did a press release to the press. I was the media's darling. And all of them go, you know, I do this press release. I said, I met him. Didn't even tell him what we talked about. And I was attacked like you've never seen. And I'm going, they called me a racist. They called me everything you could imagine. And I'm going, and I thought they were real people. You know, I'm going, wow, what did I do? I just said I met this guy. You know, I had not been into politics. So I got behind a person that he kept his promises. I had vetted him, and I'm not going to change on something I have that I vetted. Now, if I didn't have this evidence, Jimmy, it'd be different. But I have it, it's real, so people can say, oh, you're an ex-crack addict, so your brain's not right. Well, you know what? They can say all they want. It's going to come out. I keep putting the evidence out. It's going to come out. Maricopa County, they're trying to stop, as we speak today.
I know, that's a ridiculous operation
because you know
going
what?
on there.
All we need is to look at the machines. If there's nothing to hide, why won't they let the American people look at them?
Well, it's not the American people. It's some company from Florida that has a guy who's spread conspiracy theories in the past. It's not an unbiased company that's evaluating
isn't Dominion?
this.
If I was Dominion, I would have said right in the beginning when this evidence came out on January 9th to me, said, hey, just look at everybody. And then let's look at it. These are government.
Federal government,
these guys,
which at the time was run by people who were appointed by the Trump administration,
you know, we pay for all these machines.
They say it is the most secure election we've ever had.
No, he said that. The same guy, the same guy, that was Chris Krebs. That was Chris Krebs that said that. Do you know 3 weeks ago, Chris Krebs and Adam Schiff were on Morning Joe, and they asked him, what's the biggest threat to our country right now? And they said, a China attack, cyber attacks from China, right down to local races. Chris Krebs said that. He didn't know about this.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with this.
When he said it was a secure election, he did not have this on January 9th. This was after this.
I want to just say one thing real quick, because I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea here. We have limited time on this show. We'll put this whole conversation on YouTube so that people can see the whole thing. All right, but I need to take a commercial break.
Okay.
Mike Lindell is here with us. We'll be right back. Back with Mike Lindell. Music from Tom Jones is on the way. Congratulations on your Razzie Awards.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Worst Picture and Worst Actor. Have they sent the trophies to you?
No, they did. I don't know what I wanted, but I guess it's an honor.
I guess so. Your friend Rudy Giuliani was also the recipient of a Razzie Award for Worst Supporting Actor, I believe. Now, he got raided by the feds today. Is he somebody you are in touch with?
No.
Is Donald Trump somebody you're in touch with?
I've talked to him maybe once every month or so, you know, if I'm down there.
When's the last time you spoke to him?
A couple of weeks ago, I guess, when he said he was worried about what was going down at the border. He said, I really worry about what's going on.
And he called you to tell you he was worried about that?
No. We were talking about something else.
Tell me about that meeting.
His concern was the border.
That meeting when you went into his office in the heat of all this craziness going on. There's you're at the White House, and let's zoom in and see, and this is, a lot has been made of this. It said martial law if necessary on the documents that you had. You say those were not your papers.
No, they weren't. I had 4 papers of the evidence, and then there's these lawyers, there's a whole team of lawyers, like 20, 30 lawyers. They had given me 2 pieces of paper and said, if you get a meeting, go ahead and can deliver this.
Had you read that?
No, I had not even read it.
So you were like their paper mule.
I'm just a deliverer. I'm bringing this, and then I said to him, here, and this came from a lawyer, and there was Robert O'Brien, this national security advisor, a couple other people, and he read the first line after we had talked about the evidence. He said, bring these upstairs and see.
Did you discuss martial law with the president? No,
absolutely not.
You were there for what reason specifically?
To bring him the evidence from January 9th about the machines and this attack by China on our country through the.
And then what did he do, and what did his people do with this evidence? Because it seems like that's something he'd be very interested in.
They took me. I said, here, and these are from a couple lawyers, but I showed him this. I said, these are things that cyber attacks, longitude, latitude, machines, and attack by China.
Do you really understand this stuff?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, do you know what an IP address is?
Yeah. IP, and then we have the IDs of the computer. Now
What does IP stand for? Do you know?
Where the I don't know what it stands for.
See,
IP.
I think that you should know what IP stands for if you have evidence.
It's where the computers are at, wherever the IP address is of the computers. I mean, I'm.
So you're not an expert when it comes to this stuff.
I don't have to be. I'm not an expert on it. I don't have to be an expert. I know that they know when I talk to the guy that validated it.
Do you have a Hotmail address? Be honest, Mike.
No, I do not.
You donated $50,000 to a legal fund that was used to bail out the, as they call him, the Kenosha shooter, this kid who had the assault rifle.
No, that's not true.
But what's not true about it?
No, I gave money to a Lindell Foundation and whatever, and he did stuff with many different things.
So you did not know he was using that money?
He has all kinds of stuff. He has all kinds of different things that he was
When
doing.
you found out he was using money to bail this kid out, did you ask for that money back?
I didn't know he used it for that. He used it for what I was using for.
But once you found out that
he used it for election fraud.
That's what he told you.
Fraud. No, that's what it was on his website. Someone did a story, the news grabs it and goes, "You gave money to Linwood, you did this with it." Well, they didn't check it out. It's more fake news that come out there and lead stories with.
Well, but you did give money
Alan
to
Duke
Linwood.
probably put that on there. You know, he decides what's true or not in this country.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I don't know, probably not. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Are you planning to run for governor of Minnesota?
I wouldn't run to be a dog catcher right now if those machines are still in.
Oh,
Stop the presses. You got this guy out there. This is a fraud. This is not the man.
my goodness.
You got to get this guy some blue shirts.
Hold on a second. I'm as comfortable in my pajamas as I am in a bleeding bandage on top of my head.
Yeah.
You got this guy out here. He's claiming to be me. That's an imposter. First, they went for the phones. First, they went for our phones, and now they're sending in clones. Look at him. Look at him. That's not it.
Now I don't know which one of you is which. I'm really confused.
I challenge you to a pillow fight at the Minnesota State Fair this summer.
You got it. You got
That's where we settled this. We settled this.
Gonna kill you guys. You guys are targets for killers.
Jimmy, this is a chance for you to show some leadership for once. It's a King Solomon moment. Cut the pillow in half. Whoever screams more, it's my pillow.
All right. Well, I don't know who to talk to
Don't
now.
worry.
I really don't.
I'm fully vaccinated. I had the liquid polyurethane vaccine. I'm good to go.
Have you tried the oleandrin?
I tried. I gargle with echinacea. I'm a good man. The Chinese are so close. There's a Chinese theater across the street.
Oh,
Jimmy. And you tell me they haven't even hacked into our phones? I don't even look at a phone. I carry a jitterbug with me at all times.
We got a couple of Mike Lindells here. I don't know which one is which. All I know is that my pillows are no longer sold at any stores.
Pillow and Eve, not my Pillow and Steve.
All right. Mike Lindell, everybody. We'll be back with Tom Jones. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. I hope you enjoyed that video. Hit subscribe and all your dreams will come true, assuming your dreams are to watch more YouTube videos.